You've fallen under the spell of these so-called scientists like Neil Ferguson, who has no qualifications in epidemiology, and every single prediction he made about epidemics in the past, swine flu, mad cow disease, H1N1, bird flu, and coronavirus, every single prediction he made in the last 30 years has been wrong. Not a little bit wrong, wrong by a factor of 10 or 20. And that tyranny, imposed, unfortunately, by some people like Suzanne Michie as well, who supposedly is friendly to the Labour movement, has resulted in the most dramatic collapse in the health service and the economy in the memory of the last 100 years. That has been caused by a takeover, a de facto coup d'etat carried out by Big Pharma and Big Tech against the world's population. And if you want to see what the result will be, you only have to look at Australia. In Australia, the construction workers who worked right the way through the pandemic, right the way through, they were asked to work right the way through, as they were here, as the police were here. And now they're saying that the police and the construction workers must all be vaccinated. Well, why would they not have to be vaccinated when the epidemic was at peak? And now they have to be vaccinated. And whether you agree with vaccination or not is irrelevant. It is about human rights. The right to refuse to be vaccinated is a basic human right. If one worker, one police officer doesn't want to receive a vaccine, perhaps they've had anaphylactic shock before from various vaccines. Perhaps they might get anaphylactic shock from a vaccine. If one police officer in a police station of 100 police officers is in danger of that, how can you make a demand that every single officer must be injected with these experimental vaccines that have only been in existence for less than a year? How can anybody say that is justified? Use common sense, use your brains, and if you don't agree with me, as many of you seem to, come up here and argue your case. Argue your case, because you will be able to recognise, I've been arrested 6 times in the last year. The last time I was arrested for 23 hours for playing Benny Hill. 23 hours for playing Benny Hill. I was arrested first time on the 2nd of November last year for standing up against Tommy Robinson at Speaker's Corner. I was arrested on the 5th of November for going to a demonstration and attending an event of more than 2 people. Do you not stand up for the rights of workers? Do you not stand up for the rights of protesters to gather, to demonstrate, to assemble, to speak? They closed down Speaker's Corner for 6 months, where we won the right to vote, where we won the right to speak. Do you not believe we should have the right to speak? Do we all have to be muzzled and shut up forever at will? Nick, do you want to get up and speak? Do you believe in the vaccines? Are you prepared to debate? We've known each other on and off for 40 years. Are you prepared to debate? The head of the Fire Brigade Union, what if the government says the Fire Brigade must have a vaccine? Do you agree with that? If all of you must have a vaccine? See, it's unbelievable. Not even prepared to defend their own ideas. If you're not prepared to defend your own ideas, you might as well call the conference off. You might as well leave the Labour Party if you're not prepared to defend your own ideas about the most fundamental questions. I know people are going to turn around and say, oh, that's anti-vaxxers. I'm not anti-vax, so forget that one. I'm against these vaccines, these experimental vaccines, which are being used to profiteers to make money out of the health and expense of our children now. Our children's lives are in danger now because of these vaccines. So you must stand up. Will you disagree? Come and debate. You shake your head. Come and debate. If you're so clever, if I'm such a fool, come up and debate. Make me look an idiot. It's on camera. You can make me look a fool. You can show the world what a great pioneer you are in the struggle against the idiotic, far-right anti-vaxxers. Get up and speak against me if you have the ideas to do so. If you don't, then you should spend a little bit of time finding out what the arguments of people who oppose these vaccines are. Stand up and find out why we put our liberty on the line in order to defend your rights. I've been arrested 6 times for defending your right to demonstrate. If you were standing here in December last year, or in March this year, or in May this year, the police officers would have arrested you. We did those things. We stood up for your right to speak. We stood up for your right to vote. And I fully agree, Starmer out. But you must realise that shouting one single slogan is hardly a substitute for an argument, is it? It's hardly a substitute. Arguments are based on a coherent structure. Well then don't listen, other people are. Well then you should. What have I said? What? I'm a speaker. How do you think the Labour movement was created? How do you think the Labour movement was created? I've met you many times before a demonstration of protest. You shout, they're shouting, what are they doing? They're not making an argument, they're just shouting one slogan. Here's what they're doing. Starmer out, 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 Starmer out, out, out. Chant along. Chant along. Starmer out, Starmer out. Oh, I see, when I say it, you can't chant along. But when you say it, you can chant.
He's not winding me up.
All I'm asking for is that the biggest issue facing the people of this country, that is the vaccination programme and getting out of the so-called pandemic, that we discuss this and debate this. Any of you, you're all saying I'm stupid. So if I'm stupid, come up and prove how stupid I am by making your case. Stand up here. I'll give you a microphone. I'll use my voice. You're right. Graham, you know that one of my closest friends, Mick Brooks, who we've both known. We were both at the funeral for Mick Brooks a couple of months ago. We both know that we disagree on this issue. But surely I've got a right to debate. Graham, surely I've got a right to debate.
You have.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're right.
We were both very close friends with Mick Brooks, who died in January. He was my colleague at work. He died of COVID. I think he did die of COVID. He had a stroke earlier last year, but I think he died. That doesn't mean that we should inject children of 12 years of age. Is that all you've got to say? Where's your argument? Even against Starmer, that's not an argument. Stop the purge, down with Starmer. What is this? Use your brains, make an argument. Even that needs to be argued. Why do you disagree with Starmer? What's wrong with Starmer? What's he done wrong? And more importantly, in my opinion, what did Jeremy Corbyn do wrong? Because the reason Starmer is in is because Jeremy Corbyn and John McDonnell capitulated to the right wing in 2016 and 2017.
They didn't come down to the right wing at all.
They did capitulate.
No, he didn't.
I went
to
meetings with John McDonnell.
No, he didn't.
He would come to us and
JC got fucking
say,
stitched up.
It's the finger point up.
He got stitched up by the right. JC got stitched up by the right. All right,
but why
right, okay. So get your facts right. Get your facts right.
We had the party machine.
Get your facts right. JC for Prime Minister, mate.
Why? You've abandoned socialism in favour of posturing, of chanting, of not looking at the issues that are actually facing humanity. The issues facing humanity, in case you haven't noticed.
Starvation, fuel poverty and
Yes, starvation. Where is that coming from?
Where's the starvation coming from?
Heiko.
The starvation.
He's broken it.
In the last year, according to the World Bank, 240 million people have been pushed to the edge of starvation. 240 million people. And you know what they're saying? Instead of defending their rights, instead of standing up for the poor of the earth and the oppressed of the earth, or what they used to call the wretched of the earth, instead of standing up for the wretched of the earth, it's posturing. Carry a Palestinian flag. Talk about Marxism. Talk about transgender rights. Talking about killing democracy in the Labour Party. But the real issues, the mass starvation of people, the real issues, the lack of medical care all around the world, even to this day, it's impossible to get a face-to-face meeting with your doctor. What's that about? You think a doctor can treat someone on the internet, on a mobile phone, through a phone conversation? Is that the future of medicine, in your opinion? And your doctor contacts you 10 times to get your vaccination. but they don't contact you to find out if you've got heart disease, if you've got lung problems, if you've got bronchitis, if you've got, you know, whatever other disease. Millions of people in Britain are suffering on waiting lists because coronavirus was used as an excuse to shut down the NHS and to privatise it. That's what's actually happened. So all you who stood up on Thursday nights clapping away about defend the NHS, support the care workers, support the frontline staff, all of you did that. All of you did that need to hold your head in shame unless you stand up now to really defend the NHS, which has been smashed by coronavirus. Coronavirus was the excuse to drive down the living standards of the working people of this country, to drive down the living standards of working people all around the world, and to have a coup d'etat by big tech and big pharma, Google, Facebook, Amazon, who become the wealthiest companies in the world many times over, simply by reorganising the world economy based on technology and exploiting the workers at home rather than in the office. So you run an office on behalf of Amazon, you run an office on behalf of Facebook, you run an office on behalf of Google, and they no longer leave their offices. Look all around the country, businesses shut down, companies shut down, and now we have, and he came down here, huge queues on the motorway for oil, huge queues for the lack of food in the shops. And you guys are screaming about Keir Starmer and the expulsions in the Labour Party. What about the crisis in society caused by capitalism? That's the word, capitalism. C-A-P, atalism, capitalism. The system of commodity production of profit, which has turned all of us into commodities to be exploited through the internet, to be exploited.
He's absolutely correct. He's 100% correct. He knows exactly what he's talking about. Anyone here who's fallen for this puppet show, you're just being misled. It's just to distract you, confuse you. It's bullshit. Everything he's saying is completely correct.
Hear, hear.
You're welcome. I mean, anyone disagrees.
Hear, hear.
Get up, and my friend, you've been angry, my friend. You've been angry. I can see you're a working class guy. Your heart's in the right place. You just think I'm wrong. Get up and say what you want. Get up and say what you want, mate. Come on. Here's your chance. Get up and say what you want. Come on. Say why I'm wrong. Come
He
on.
wants to chin
Come on.
ya.
Come on. Nothing to be afraid of. Come and say what you think. Don't come and encircle him. I'm not afraid of him. Come and say what you think. Because the police are all hovering that you're going to do something to me. You're not going to do anything to me, are you? No. Come and
have a
I'm not afraid
talk.
of they're looking like...
Just have a talk,
Come and
man.
speak, my friend.
Just have a talk.
I'm asking you to speak, that's not egging you
Have a
on.
talk.
It's democracy.
Me, hello.
It's about what we
Hello.
call democracy. The right to speak,
internet.
the right to demonstrate, the right to have a different opinion. I grew up on Marxism, ladies and gentlemen. I
an
went to
autistic man
East
with a
Germany.
camera.
I did
Oh,
underground
excellent.
work in East
I'm a
Germany.
disabilities
I
advisor.
faced the fucking
Smashing.
tanks in Tiananmen Square.
Good for
Right?
you. Good
Don't
for
tell
you.
me I
Thank
don't
you.
know about these things. I stood alongside Jeremy Corbyn. None of you grabbed this earlier on. You're disruptive and rude. You want to say something productive. I've known you many years, my baby. I have known you many. You've been on demonstrations
She's
for
the angry
30
one.
years that I've been on. You just don't remember because you've been to so many demonstrations, you've forgotten who people are.
You grab so many microphones.
If you don't recognise me, then of course I'm going to be patronising you. What did you want to say? You want to say something? You want to grab something? Say, start speaking, start speaking. You're upset at it. What do you want to say?
What do you want to say? What do you want to say? What do you say it then? Leave his stuff alone. I'm speaking. Say what
Freedom of patronisation, I'm afraid.
Is patronising a crime?
No. Heaven
Is
no.
patronising a crime?
No, do it some more.
We have the right to speak. Well then come up and speak yourself. What do you want to say? What do you want? Why is it? I'm exasperated. Why is it nobody here, of those who want to attack me and shout at me and scream at me and say I'm an idiot, I'm a fool and do this, that's all fine.
Of course you can speak. Of course you can speak. Do you want the microphone to speak?
Yeah, but she wants to grab it and do stuff with it.
No, to speak.
She wants to be distracted.
You're asking the police officers to monitor democratic discussion. It's ridiculous.
Say what you think.
Look, she's going to do stupid. She's going to do stupid. She's going to be stupid with it. She's going to be stupid with it, 100%. She's going to be stupid with it, I bet you, I guarantee you.
Ladies and gentlemen, many people are here today for a number of causes. Maybe Jewish Voice for Labour would like to come and say a few words, or maybe not. Maybe someone else from our Stop the Purging Labour would like to come and speak. This is very important.
Let
Pat,
the
would you like to
disabled
speak
work at
about
it.
disability rights?
What's this got to do with it? It's not in relation to what Heiko's saying.
We're talking about the opportunity to stop the purge.